Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Good afternoon, or morning or evening. Depends on what time you're watching me. The question is, why am I qualified to provide advice on anything? That was the question. Wait a minute. Let me put on my answer glasses. Well, I'm not going to say because I say so. I say so from practical experience, not in theory. Two totally different answers. When you talk to your friends or acquaintances about problems that you're having, are they giving you advice or coming to conclusions on your problems or your annoyances, or just the things that you have questions about, whether they're problems or not? Are they speaking from practical experience, or are they answering you based on theory? But in theory, relationship problems are all concept, right? So you're having a relationship problem, you go to talk to your friend, they're providing all these answers. And because you're distraught, you're confused, you need help. Got to make sure the highway's not backed up. What are they speaking from? How many relationships have they had? And what makes them qualified? So back to my original question that was proposed to me. How am I qualified? Well, we'll talk about all my failures. So all my failures, I feel my failures qualify me. So how can a failure qualify me to answer a question about different scopes of business? Well, I had a bar and nightclub that failed. Did I talk to somebody about a bar and nightclub? Yes. See, the real question is, why did my nightclub fail? So, my nightclub didn't fail because my nightclub didn't fail. My nightclub failed because I missed one very important regulation about running a nightclub. If you allow your nightclub to go over capacity and you violate state fire code, your nightclub can be shut down. And in my case, it was shut down. The fire marshal come in, violated me for occupancy, and I thought, this isn't that big of a deal. I will shoo him away. Well, as it turns out, my failure was, you just don't shoo him away. What I should have done is simply complied and reduced the number of people at the time, but I was being greedy. Well, we know what being greedy does. Greed gets you nowhere. I was being greedy, couldn't think about anything but all the money the people were spending, not what's going to happen when I don't have an establishment for people to come and spend money in. Agreed. I was blinded by greed and desire. We're almost talking about the 7 deadly sins there, huh? We just nailed 2 of them, right? Yep. So, I was blinded by greed. I did not comply, and my nightclub was shut down permanently. Because the fire marshal can close the doors and put a chain on them. And when that happens, there's nothing you're going to do. That was it. So my failure wasn't because I didn't bring in enough business. My failure was I actually brought in too much business. And I didn't know how to keep it under control. And I still have those same problems today. Getting business is the easy part. Maintaining the business is the hard part. That goes back to the growth. How to manage the growth. How to manage employees. How to manage all the aspects of the business that you couldn't see when you were one person. It's almost as terrible as, or bad, or confusing as just trying to manage your own life. Trying to manage one relationship. Sometimes one relationship that you're trying to manage with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever you're trying to manage, it can seem like an impossible task, because nothing that you do, and there are days, what I'm saying are days, that nothing you can do will seem to make that other person happy. There is just nothing you can do. You just can't make them happy. And the truth is, it's not about you making them happy. It's understanding the boundaries, and you have crossed them. I'm having a bad day today. I have a bunch of people come in my office, they ask me a question, and sometimes I just can't hide the fact that I'm having a bad day. Sometimes I'm just having such a bad day because, well, I've been fired 14 or 15 or 16 times, or I was fired so harshly that it only took one time. So I'm having such a bad day. They come in, they start talking to me, and I'm wearing it. You can see it. It's on my face. It's in my tone, my mannerisms, my posture, everything. Sometimes I'm not a good actor. Sometimes I can't cover it up. And so then they're like, gosh, why are you having a bad day? Well, the truth is, I couldn't even explain to them in such a way that they would have an inkling, a glimmer of why my day is bad. Because mostly, it's probably because of them. Because they didn't ship it right, they didn't process it right, they didn't pack it right, they didn't describe it right. There's 4 good enough reasons. And it was done so many times. They've screwed up so many times. But ultimately, it's never their fault. It's always my fault. They are just an employee. So it's always my responsibility to absorb all the punishment, everything that goes wrong, and it is my job to make it right. So you're having a bad day. They're having a bad day. As we go back to your significant other or someone you're very close to is having a bad day, and nothing you can seem to do will make it better. And really what they need is a little room to breathe. And sometimes if you just wait a little while, they'll snap out of it. But typically what happens, someone's having a bad day and you want so much to help them, and you can't help them. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to change what's going on at that moment. You have to remember, it's just one moment in time. As I was just fired from a customer that I had been doing a lot of business with. That's one moment in time, as bad as it makes me feel. I do my best to not project my terrible feelings, my I don't even have words for it, how down I feel or depressed. Such a ick word, depressed. Because at that moment, I'm crushed, I'm hurt, and I don't want to project those hurt feelings onto someone else. So I paint my smile on the best that I possibly can, and sometimes it's devastating and it's very difficult to smile. But I have to remember that the person that wants to help me so much, that's asking me what's wrong, they actually don't fully understand. And it's not going to be fair of me, per yesterday's video, to hit anybody with a hamburger because I'm having a bad day and they made my hamburger wrong. So when that person's having a bad day, sometimes you just have to wait patiently and they'll come back around. Now, if you wait patiently and they don't come back around, well, maybe there's some other underlying issues. Maybe they do require a little more help or guidance than you can provide, and that's an entirely different matter. So, how many times are you in that position, or how many times are they in that position? When you've had a bad day and somebody's just trying to make you feel better, and you don't allow it. So that's the other side. When someone comes into the office and they're like, "Hey, how are you?" Woo! Most of the time I just laugh just like that and I go, I don't know how I am. And at that moment I realize they have nothing to do with it. They actually had everything to do with it. And the team of people that all works with them, because I've been the punching bag for a customer, and I can never go and explain to them what they've put me through, because it's not fair. Because they actually didn't put me through it, I put me through it. When what I should have done is work closely with that employee or those employees, or revamp my process, look at my procedure. Because again, if I don't like the way something's being done, being handled, I don't like the way something is in its being, I change it. And if I cannot change it, I change how I feel about it. Well, in this case, I could change how I feel about it. I can't change the procedure, the process, because it is what it is. And then a customer gets upset with me about it. I just have to accept it. There are moments in the way our chain of process works and our procedures that we cannot change because of one customer, because we have hundreds of other customers, thousands of other customers we don't have any problems with. They plug themselves right in, and our process, our procedures, everything that we do works beautifully for them. And then we have that one that it doesn't work so good for. Sometimes that even applies itself to a relationship. Sometimes no matter what we do, that one relationship, whether it's a significant other, it's a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, that you can't fix because it is not fixable. Everything cannot be fixed through processes and procedures. Conflict of interest is always there, and you can do little about it. We can change how we feel about it, and if it's still there and it still persists, and those relationships cannot, under any circumstances, be salvaged, we have to look at the whole of the entire situation, not about this moment in time or another moment or 10 moments. Something has broken the situation. By the time a customer calls me that I've had a relationship with for years and years and years, and they simply are not going to do business with me anymore, I try very hard to not take it personally. Rob, we've been in business together for 15 years. And he goes, I know. And it pains me to break up, because that's what we're doing. We're ending a relationship. Me and Rob aren't ending a relationship. Our two companies are ending a relationship through irreconcilable differences. They've grown in a different direction than my company has. Maybe my company is too small to support their needs any longer. Maybe I'm too small-minded to support my significant other's needs. Maybe their needs have grown. They've grown bigger than I have. I'm just still simply Dave. And I'm right where I was when we got together 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago or however long ago we got together. I haven't changed at all. Some people don't change. We are creatures of habit. And all of those habits hold us grounded. I'm not going to say that that is good, because in a lot of cases it's not. But in a lot of cases it is. Having, a level head on your shoulders, as per the term, that you make good decisions. You protect yourself and those around you. And then sometimes you have to be able to let go. You have to be able to go, we're going out on the edge. We're going out on the ledge. We're going to take a chance. And we're going to try really hard to not get hurt. And we understand the consequences of our actions. There's so many important facets and decisions that we all have to make on a daily basis. And sometimes people go through life and they never see those very important decisions. They skip over them. And then they question, gosh, why does nothing ever good happen to me? When simply, if they would have backed up a few hundred steps and made a different decision, a different choice, taken a different path, looked at something and said, I wonder why. Instead of taking it for face value and just stepping right up there going, I'm wearing a red shirt. I wonder if bulls really like red. Are they attracted to red? Or that's the only color they can see? Or whatever it is about the color red that makes a bull go out of his mind and run over there and try to prod you, poke you. I don't think bulls actually try to poke. I'm pretty sure they're trying to gourd you. Boom. I don't think they're playing with you. Instead of just walking out there and getting gourded really hard and go, oh my gosh, why did that happen? They should have asked. They should have looked at their surroundings and made a better choice, a better decision. But sometimes people don't. So my advice, whether I'm qualified to give it, you need to start looking at everything. You start doing the math, do the calculations, inspect your environment, make good decisions and better choices. And if something doesn't come out like you want it to, make a different choice, make a different decision. And hopefully you won't keep making the ones that keep you down. Hopefully you will make a choice or a decision that will lift you up. You will then raise your standards. You will look at things differently, and you will start asking more questions that you're looking for better answers. Better answers, not just answers. Per all the way back 17 minutes and 18 minutes and 2 seconds ago, when we asked the question, we need a better answer. Is someone qualified in any means to provide advice or guidance? And what is their experience on that topic? That is a very important question. So as you go looking for advice or guidance or answers, make sure whoever it is that you're looking at, you're speaking with, you're reading their words or even listening to, watching a video, they've got some inkling as to what they're actually talking about. These things take time to learn. They don't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. Raising your standards and providing yourself with a better life doesn't happen overnight. It all takes time. It's taken us 19 minutes to come to that conclusion. You know what a conclusion is? When we're done thinking about something. That is going to be our answer. And sometimes you have to think about things a little bit longer and come to a new conclusion. Don't give up so easily. I'm Dave, and this was Drive Time, and I will see you soon.